I kind of think that contributed to the whole Luna Lovegood vibe because she is a bit spacey.
If you were cast in Harry Potter as a preteen, odds are you got to use your own voice.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
But the adult cast got to play all of the creepy villain characters and weird comedic types. We're taking a look at the actors who really put a lot of work into their characters and didn't really sound like themselves by the end.
You like to cover up, and I said, you're completely right.
I'm afraid Voldemort isn't you, darling. Ralph Fiennes took inspiration from his nephew, who played a young Voldemort. And no, we aren't talking about Christian Coulson, who played Tom Riddle in Chamber of Secrets. We're talking Half-Blood Prince Tom, played by Hero Fiennes.
He has such a wonderful quality of a boy's loneliness because the world has rejected him.
That snake-like whisper Fiennes brings to the character obviously isn't how he talks normally.
You're a fool, Harry Potter, and you will lose.
If he actually spoke like that, he probably never would have gotten very far as an actor, as it's an intimidating enough persona to scare the Gryffindor out of Daniel Radcliffe. But the voice evolves throughout the series. When Voldemort first receives his body in Goblet of Fire, he sounds like a sick and elderly man.
13 years it's been.
But as the character grows stronger, so does his voice.
Severus, I was beginning to worry you had lost your way.
And you would know Voldy is just one character Ralph Fiennes can play, if you'd ever seen Grand Budapest Hotel, which you totally should.
How's that supposed to make me feel?
Wait, what in the Babu frick? She played Myrtle in her 30s? You heard that right. Myrtle was played by established voice actor Shirley Henderson, who has since played the Lil Babu in The Rise of Skywalker. Which do you think de-aged her more, the translucent ghost thing or the bangs? Because bangs were definitely the de-aging tech of the time. Maybe it was the fact she was 5'0", or maybe it was just the squeaky voice.
And it fell through the top of my head.
And here's the real her, when you can't see right through her.
A bit of both. I mean, it's exciting, but it's also a bit uncomfortable at the same time.
If we could play any role in the franchise, it would definitely be Bellatrix. Helena Bonham Carter definitely had the most memorable role in the series. A lot of Bellatrix's character came from Helena's strong relationship with the director, who allowed her to play and explore on set.
He knows how to play. Itty bitty baby.
And the rest of the tone of voice came from the fake teeth she used. Which, by the way, she was the one who asked for the teeth in the first place, and also kept them after filming wrapped.
Well, she's just like this mad child.
Which is why she doesn't brush her teeth. But there you have it. Helena is much more laid back than Bellatrix in real life.
Everybody seems to make us more interesting than we actually are.
We are living for Jason Isaac's catty voice theft. The inspiration Jason had for Lucius Malfoy's voice came from two different places. It came from a teacher at his drama school. That teacher didn't give him any good acting tips. No, actually, the two quite disliked each other, so Jason just stole his voice. And then he combined it with that of a famous art critic using a fabricated upper-class British accent.
That is my true mask.
No one was confident that this voice would win over audiences, but Jason was, and it paid off. Listen to how quickly he can just jump into character.
I turned to Daniel and I said, let us hope Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day.
Why so serious? Sorry, that pun was too easy. Given how down-to-earth Sirius Black really is later on in the series, it's jarring to watch his performance when he was fresh out of Azkaban.
I can't explain any of that. It's just the way it's worked out.
Amazing to think that man created this character.
Why don't you run along and play with your chemistry set?
For Gary Oldman, he approaches his characters from one of two places.
It's normally a vocal thing or a physical thing.
Rather than just letting it be purely intellectual. It's been years since your last nightmare about Delores Umbridge. 2 years before her casting, a friend of Imelda's read Harry Potter and then said she'd be perfect for the part. She read it and thought, small, squat, ugly, toad-like woman? Thanks a lot. We wouldn't describe her voice as toad-like, more like cookies scratching against a chalkboard, and not like good cookies, but like raisin cookies. In case you don't remember it and need more nightmare fuel, here's your reminder.
There is nothing out there, dear.
Who do you imagine wants to attack children like yourself?
Well, Imelda Staunton speaks just an octave or so lower.
It's not really legal, but it's necessary. I think that sums her up.
It's also important to see her out of costume.
Although people, they do go, oh, are you? And I go, step away, step away.
Raise your hand if you didn't realize Emma Thompson played Sybil Trelawney. Between the hair, the glasses, the costume, the behavior, and, of course, the voice, we understand if you didn't recognize her.
Together we shall cast ourselves into the future.
Bet you would love to cast yourself into the past to relay this information to a younger you, huh?
I'm not really in it enough to impress them.
Okay, good, then we're off the hook. We didn't know it was her. If you play this video at 1.25 speed, Luna will sound like Evanna. There's nothing exceptionally ordinary about Evanna Lynch. She still has that whimsical quality when she speaks. The biggest difference really has to be the pace. Evanna's spending just a little less time in the clouds or looking at thestrals than Luna.
I wish I'd felt this relaxed when I was younger, actually.
Wait, more relaxed than you were playing Luna? Did we hear that right?
No, but I've done several toes, and how different are they really?
Maybe in the world of Harry Potter, noses and toes are not so different, but in the doctor's office, we bet they're very different. Now for our favorite grumbly caretaker. Filch was a fun one for David Bradley. He didn't talk much, but he was a huge part of the series. Always there, always watching, always grumbling and groaning. But still finding small moments of happiness when Harry would find himself in a pickle.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
The secret to getting the voice of the character is the false teeth.
All I've got to do is just pop these in and it's an instant filch.
Timothy played a character that couldn't be farther from himself. There's something jarring about comparing Timothy Spall and his character Peter Pettigrew, because he really gives off politician vibes.
I think, are we going to see the birth of a religion? Are we, Harry Potter?
Actually, we meant that Pettigrew gave off the vibes.
I didn't mean to! The Dark Lord, you've no idea the weapons he possesses.
Yeah, that's better. In all seriousness, Timothy put a lot of work into the role, and a lot of his inspiration came from Pettigrew's 12 years of living as Scabbers the Rat.
Stop it! Stop it!
The wizarding world of Harry Potter truly lends itself to some magical voice acting choices.
In these lessons, I will attempt to penetrate your mind.
From false teeth to art critics, it just goes to show inspiration can come from anywhere.
One of Turner's things on the wall, and I look at it now, I think, how the hell did I do that? I can't even remember doing it.
Which actor's vocal transformation impressed you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for joining us at The Things.